Good morning, dear students. How are you all? Hope you are doing fine and taking care as per the need of the hour. Today, we are going to start our supplementary in English, which I am going to take as a part of English. The first lesson is Triumph of Surgery. Triumph means victory. When you win, you are triumphant. So, a triumph of surgery. Surgery means you can understand from now this word that surgery, operation, or we can say a doctor is in this story. A triumph of surgery. Something is happening. A doctor is then doing some surgery or doing some giving some prescription or giving treatment to somebody, and he is victorious, he emerges victorious. So doctors triumph of surgery. Tricky, this is the introduction. Tricky, a small dog, is pampered and overfed by his rich mistress. He falls seriously ill and his mistress consults a veterinary surgeon. Does he perform an operation? Does the dog recover? These are the questions asked. As you go on reading the lesson, you will come to know the answers. The dog's name is Tricky. Pampered. Pampered means overlooked, overcared by giving excessive rich food, clothes, etc. Pampering means taking overcare, undue overcare. વધારે પડતું એનામાં નુકસાન જ થતું હોય છે. And overfed by his rich mistress. Overfed. Not necessary to eat, then too she is giving him food by his rich. And the mistress, માલકીન, આપણે મિસ્ટરનું જે ફિમેલ ફોર્મ થાય છે એ મિસ્ટ્રેસ, રિચ છે. મિસ્ટ્રેસ જે છે એ બહુ અમીર છે. He falls seriously ill. કોઈ પણ વધારે ખાય, વધારે પડતી સાર સંભાળ રખાય તો એ સ્વાભાવિકપણે બીમાર જ પડવાનો છે, પણ બહુ ખરાબ રીતે બીમાર થઈ જાય છે. સિરિયસલી ઇલ. And his mistress consults a veterinary surgeon. And mistress consults means goes for or goes to consult or calls a veterinary surgeon. Veterinary, doctor of animals, is known as veterinary surgeon. Does he perform an operation? So has he to operate or do surgery? Does the dog recover? Means he is getting well after the treatment. Let us find out this lesson. So read and find out is given. This is good exercise actually. When first questions are given, you can, when you are reading through or comprehending a lesson, you can come to know the answers. So always this is a good trick to learn something. First you should have questions in mind. Now when you are solving comprehensions, I prefer this trick, I advise this trick, I advocate this trick to go through the questions first. Many students mostly, I think, they read the comprehension and then go through the question answers. But if you change this system, I think it will be very helpful. Just try it. Read and find out. Why is Mrs. Pumphrey worried about Tricky? You know, as she is very rich, she has over-pampered him and overfed him. He is seriously ill. So naturally, if somebody is ill, then we feel worried about that person. The Tricky is also a family member. What does she do to help him? Is she wise in this? To help him to take out of this situation or to cure him, what does she do? Is she wise in this? Is her decision wise? Why? Who does I refer to in this story? And in this story, who is I? Every time, whenever there is I, it is the first person. First person means the speaker. Speaker means one who has written the story. You are given at the end of the lesson. You can know from the name in the what we say lesson reading also, but it is always given. So author's name are very necessary to remember along with the story. So I think first thing, the introduction of the lesson is there, the questions you know. So as we read on, we will also see the answers. Whatever questions are coming, whatever hard words are coming in the explanation, that is as a homework. You have to write it down and understand the story. Supplementary has very less weightage in your paper, so only giving good concentration at one time, it will help you out. No need to read again and again. Let us move on to the next slide now. Now we start the lesson. I was really worried about Tricky this time. I had pulled up my car when I saw him in the street with his mistress, and I was shocked at his appearance. I, the author, he is very worried about this dog Tricky. This time means not before, but this time he is very looking like he is very ill, seriously ill. So he is very worried, really worried. I had pulled up my car, stopped the car when he saw them in the street, the mistress and his dog and her dog with his mistress, and I was shocked at his appearance. When he looks at Tricky, he is shocked to see his shape, his physics, his appearance. He had become hugely fat. Fat itself is a word which shows obesity. Hugely fat means very fat, we can say, like a blotted sausage. Blotted means swollen, fulai gailu, we can say. Sausage, it is a twisted food like on sticks, or a twist is given to food. It is known as sausage, with a leg at each corner. And that sausage, the swollen sausage, fulai gela sausage ne chare khune, a leg at each corner. So it is looking not like a dog but as a blotted sausage. His eyes bloodshot and rheumy. Bloodshot, red. When somebody is ill, sometimes the eyes become red. Eyes are very red, bloodshot, and rheumy. Rheumy means water is coming out of the eyes, and we can say the nose. So it is known as rheumy. It is a sign that you are very ill. Sometimes it happens running nose, running eyes. It happens generally in cold. You can see these things. Stared straight ahead, and his tongue lolled from his jaws. Stared straight ahead, is looking straight. His tongue lolled. Lolled means loosely hanging. As you have seen the dogs, their tongue is always out. Generally, it is out and it is hanging. So that scene you can understand. You have seen this many times. It is hanging loosely out of his mouth. From his jaws inside the mouth, you see the jaws are there, so you can see the open mouth. From the tongue is rolling out from the mouth. This scene you have seen many times. Mrs. Pumphrey hastened to explain. Hastened means hurried. She cannot wait to explain the condition of her dog. She starts explaining. He was so listless. Listless means colorless, means faded or not very in very good condition. Health is not good. Ill he is. Mr. Harriot. So Mr. Harriot, now you see that Mr. Harriot is the author of the lesson. He seemed to have no energy. 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 There is no strength in him when somebody is ill. Naturally, you see, the body gives up, stamina is not there. We feel energyless. I thought he must be suffering from malnutrition. In the introduction already we have seen he is pampered and overfed, but this condition, she assumes that he is not eating properly out of weakness. Malnutrition means not giving enough food, not having enough food is known as malnutrition. In poor people you can see this malnutrition is generally there. So he is in malnutrition condition and she is giving him more food. So I have been giving him some little extras between meals to build him up. Meals are already there. Some little extras between meals. In between meals also he is getting food. Now see what food he is getting. Some malt. Malt, it is energetic, we can say drink. It is out of grain, we can say germinated grains are there. And cold liver oil, fish oil, it is known as cold liver oil. And a bowl of Horlicks, just like malt, it is Horlicks energetic drink. At night, to make him sleep, she is giving Horlicks at night. Nothing much really. This is ionic. Ionic means ઉલટું કીધેલું છે કે બસ એનાથી વધારે હું નથી આપતી, આટલું બધું ખવડાવે છે ને એકચ્યુઅલી કે છે નથિંગ મચ રિયલી. And did you cut down on the sweet things as I told you? Sometimes it is asked who told this, to whom, what, who, when, where, why. Such questions are asked RTCV, you know. So this line, it is told by the author, Mr. Harriet. Did you cut down on the sweet things as I told you? Whom he is saying? To Mrs. Pumphrey. Cut down the sweet things as I told you. Cut down means not to give him more, or to stop giving such things, sweet things. He had told her earlier, or warned her earlier, that she should not give him sweet things. So he is asking, confirming if she is continuing or discontinuing. Oh, I did for a bit. Bit means for a small time. She was able to control, she was not able to give, or she didn't give sweets. But he seemed to be so weak, I had to relent. He seemed to be so weak after stopping the sweets. He seemed to be so weak that relent. Relent means to give off that circumstance, or give out that thing, or what was bound, that is cut down, that sweet things. She had to again feed her. Feeding. He does love cream cakes and chocolates, so I can't bear to refuse him. He loves cream cakes and chocolates. You can see pampering, how pampering and overfeeding is there. So after so there is full stop, but it should be comma here. So, or so I can't bear to refuse him. She is not able to control herself, and she feeds him with what is restricted. All these things, sweets and everything was restricted. Still she relented and gave him. I looked down again at the little dog. He again saw him, watches him closely. That was the trouble. These things, what she has done, overfeeding, pampering, and the list we saw above, that itself is a trouble. Tricky's only fault was greed. Greed. You know, greed, it is a sin, we can say. Nobody should be greedy. Mahatma Gandhi has also said there is everything for everybody's need, for not for everybody's greed. So લોભે લખણ જાય, we say in Gujarati. So greed is the base of some sins, or we can say disease or sufferings, we can say at last. He had never been known to refuse food. He is not refused. Whenever he is feeling hungry or communicating for food, he is getting. He would tackle a meal at any hour of the day or night. In between meals also he is fed. So you can see he is able to take meals in between hours. In between the meals he is taking something. So whole day he is eating. Glutton, we can say like that. And I wondered. Wondered means surprised. Would tackle a meal about all the things Mrs. Pumphrey hadn't mentioned. The author knows that this is not all she is feeding him, but there is more which she is not mentioning, because of she is afraid that he might get more treatment. Seriously ill he is, so she is not mentioning. As we also sometimes hide from the doctor, but this is not a good habit. We hide this and that. He asks many questions, but we generally avoid such answers. We fix. We just want treatment on the main things. Are you giving him plenty of exercise? Now if somebody is overweight, overfed, exercise is a must. You also know that humans or anybody, exercise is good for health for everybody. So as advised, does she put him to exercise? Well, he has his little walks with me, as you can see, little walks. When she is going for a walk, she is taking him. But Hodgkin, the gardener, has been down with lumbago, a disease of spinal cord at the back. We can say, no, it is stiffness is there. A person is not feeling well. The back pain is there. So there has been no ring throwing lately. Ring throwing, you all might have played. We throw rings and catch. So the gardener will throw the ring and the dog will go and catch it and bring it to the gardener. Again he will throw. Like that the game will go on. In that way the exercise will also continue. So that ring throwing exercise is not going on. I tried to sound severe. Now you can see Mrs. Pumphrey, the dog, how much fat he is looking, a coat it is wearing, the lolling tongue, you can see how fat he looks according to its size. I tried to sound severe. Now the doctor or Harriet, Mr. Harriet becomes severe, strict. Now I really mean this. If you don't cut his food right down and give him more exercise, he is going to be really ill. In strict words he is telling that if she doesn't do the things mentioned, cut down the food, giving more exercise, then the condition is going to worsen. He is going to be really ill. You must harden your heart and keep him on a very strict diet. Harden your heart. So suppose a child is ill, doctor has advised not to take something, but when we are told to do not do something, we are attracted to do that thing. That is the habit of humans. So the mother will give, though he is ill, doctor has not told, but she is soft heart. So hard heart is not there of a mother. In the same way, she is like a mother to that dog, and so she is not able to be strict. So the doctor is, we can say, strictly advising her to harden her heart and keep him on a strict diet, not to feed him very much. Mrs. Pumphrey wrung her hands, twisted forcibly. Oh, I will, Mr. Harriet. She says that she will obey. I am sure you are right. But it is so difficult, so very difficult. She set off, head down, along the road, as if determined to put the new regime into practice immediately. She promises that she will obey, but it is so difficult, so very difficult. In the end, she is having escape like that, she will not be able to do that things in a strict manner. So it is very difficult to contain it. She set off. She went ahead, head down, because she knows she has given a false promise, along the road, as if determined to put the new regime, the new prescription, the new course, the new exercise, or the new guidelines into practice immediately. I watched their progress with growing concern. He looked worried, the author. Tricky was tottering along. Tottering means walking shakily, not steadily but shakily, in his little tweed, a rough woolen cloth coat it is, we can say. He had a whole wardrobe of these coats. The cupboard of clothes we know as wardrobe. It is full of such coats for the cold weather, and a raincoat for the wet days. Cold weather, for that tweed coats are there, raincoats are there for wet days. He struggled on. He is not able to walk properly, feeling very ill. So he is struggling to walk also, drooping in his harness. Drooping means bending due to weakness. Harness means the bell which is there in his, we can say, neck. I thought it wouldn't be long before I heard from Mrs. Pumphrey. When the author sees this, he knows that soon there will be a call from Mrs. Pumphrey to cure the dog. The expected call came within a few days. In no time, some days only, that expected call was there from Mrs. Pumphrey was in distraught. You can see distraught means deeply angry or mad. We can say she's not able to control now the situation. She needs the help of the author. Tricky would eat nothing. As you saw how much he was eating, but now he is eating nothing. Refused even his favorite dishes, as mentioned earlier, is not taking his favorite dish also. And besides, also he had bouts of vomiting. Frequently he is vomiting. Bouts means the things which happen in spell, in frequency. We can say it is bouts. So bouts of vomiting. Time and again he is vomiting. He spent all his time lying on a rug, panting. Rug, a thick fabric of wool with border to cover the floor. In our houses, also in homes, also we see, we lay down a cloth like thing with borders in our house on the floor to keep it safe from mud, dirt, and everything. So he is lying on a rug, panting. He is breathing hard and quickly, as if he has done a lot of work after exertion, gasping in air, difficulty in breathing. Didn't want to go for walks, didn't want to do anything. Such is his condition that he is not able to go for walks, not want to go for walks, and don't want to do anything. I had made my plans in advance. The doctor had already planned what to do. The only way was to get Tricky out of the house for a period. The only way was, આખરી રસ્તો એક જ છે કે એને ઘરમાંથી બહાર કાઢવામાં આવે અને એની દેખરેખ એક હોસ્પિટલમાં એક વેટરનરી ડૉક્ટર તરીકે કરવામાં આવે તો જ એ સાજો થઈ શકે છે. આઈ સજેસ્ટેડ દેટ હી બી હોસ્પિટલાઇઝડ. તે સૂચવે છે કે એને હોસ્પિટલાઇઝ કરીએ ફોર અબાઉટ અ ફોર્ટનાઇટ. આ ટાઈમનો શબ્દ છે ફોર્ટનાઇટ એટલે 15 દિવસ, પખવાડિયું આપણે કહીએ. અઠવાડિયું અને પખવાડિયું એટલે 15 દિવસ, અડધો મહિનો, 15 days, 2 weeks, એવી રીતે આપણે એને ફોર્ટનાઇટ કહીએ છીએ. ટુ બી કેપ્ટ અંડર ઓબ્ઝર્વેશન. તો ડૉક્ટરની સારવાર હેઠળ રહેશે, એના ઓબ્ઝર્વેશન હેઠળ રહેશે. ધ પુઅર લેડી ઓલમોસ્ટ swooned. swooned મીન્સ ફેન્ટેડ, જાણે બેભાન થઈ ગઈ આ સાંભળીને. મારે મારા કૂતરાથી દૂર રહેવું પડશે. આઈ સજેસ્ટેડ. She was sure he would pine and die if he did not see her every day. એને કૂતરાની પડી છે કે એ એની રાહ નથી જોઈ શકતો, માલકીન વગર એ રહી નથી શકતો, અને જો એને રોજ નહીં જુએ તો એને બહુ દુઃખ થશે અને એના સફરિંગથી એ કદાચ મરી પણ જાય, એટલું એને દુઃખ થશે. એટલે વિખૂટા થવાનો વારો આવે છે તો એ ઓલમોસ્ટ જાણે કે એને બેભાન થઈ જાય છે. બટ આઈ ટુક અ ફર્મ લાઇન એટલે કે ઠોસ નિર્ણય કરે છે. ટ્રિકી વોઝ વેરી ઇલ. ટ્રિકી તો બહુ જ બીમાર છે. ઇન ધીસ વે ધ ઓનલી વે ટુ સેવ હિમ, ઇન ફેક્ટ આઈ થોટ ઇટ બેસ્ટ ટુ ટેક હિમ વિદાઉટ ડિલે. તો એ વગર વાર કરે એટલે કે વગર વિલંબે, તરત જ, સૂન, ઇમિડિયેટલી એને ત્યાંથી લઈ જવા માંગે છે અને એ રીતે સ્ટ્રિક્ટલી કહે પણ છે. Followed by Mrs. Pumphrey's wailings, I marched out to the car carrying the little dog wrapped in a blanket. રડે છે, આજીજી કરે છે, વિનંતીઓ કરે છે, જોરથી રડે છે, જાણે કોઈ મરી ગયું હોય, એ બહુ દુઃખની વાત હોય એ રીતે બહુ જોરથી રડે છે. પણ તે માર્ચ્ડ આઉટ એટલે જાઓ કે જે તે મિલિટરી માર્ચ હોય એ રીતે વગર કોઈની સાંભળે એ બહાર જતો રહે છે ઘરની અને પોતાની કાર પાસે પહોંચી જાય છે. રેપ્ડ એટલે લપેટેલો છે એને, ફોલ્ડેડ ઇન અ બ્લેન્કેટ, કૂતરાને બ્લેન્કેટમાં લપેટીને ત્યાં પોતાની કાર પાસે લઈ જાય છે ઘરની બહાર. એન્ટાયર સ્ટાફ વોઝ રાઉઝડ. આખો સ્ટાફ ઘરનો એક્ટિવ થઈ જાય છે. મેડ્સ રસ્ડ ઇન એન્ડ આઉટ, જે નોકરાણીઓ છે રસ્ડ ઇન એન્ડ આઉટ, અંદર બહાર દોડે છે. બ્રિંગિંગ ઇઝ ડે બેડ, કોઈ એનું ડે બેડ એટલે એની પાથરણી લાવે છે દિવસ માટે, કોઈ રાત્રિની. ફેવરેટ કુશન્સ એટલે આપણે કહીએ કે નરમ વસ્તુ હોય બેસવા માટે, જેનાથી રાહત થતી હોય છે. સોફા જે હોય નરમ હોય એકદમ, સ્ટફિંગવાળી વસ્તુ હોય એને કુશન્સ કહેવાય. ટોયઝ એન્ડ રબર રિંગ્સ, એને ગમતી વસ્તુ એની રમતની વસ્તુઓ, રમકડા છે, રબરની રિંગ્સ છે. બ્રેકફાસ્ટનું બાઉલ એટલે આપણે કટોરો છે, લંચનો કટોરો છે. સપરનો, બ્રેકફાસ્ટ સવારમાં હોય, લંચ બપોરે હોય. સપર એટલે કે ડિનર આપણે જેને કહીએ, રાત્રિના ડિનર માટે સપર એનો પર્યાય શબ્દ છે. ઇટ ઇઝ સિનોનિમસ ટુ ડિનર. સો ઓલ ટાઈમ બાઉલ્સ આર ધેર ફોર ધ મોર્નિંગ, ફોર ધ આફ્ટરનૂન એન્ડ ફોર ધ નાઇટ. રિયલાઇઝિંગ દેટ માય કાર વુડ નેવર હોલ્ડ ઓલ ધ સ્ટફ, આટલી બધી વસ્તુઓ તો કારમાં સમાય નહીં, આટલો બધો સ્ટફ તો આવે નહીં. આઈ સ્ટાર્ટેડ ટુ ડ્રાઈવ અવે, તો ડૉક્ટર તૈયારીમાં પોતાની ગાડી ત્યાંથી હાંકી મૂકે છે. હી ડ્રાઇવ્સ અવે. એઝ આઈ મૂવડ ઓફ, જે તે કાર પોતાની આગળ વધારે છે. મિસિસ પમ્ફ્રી વિથ અ ડિસ્પેરિંગ ક્રાય, બહુ જોરથી રડતી દુઃખથી રડે છે. આપણે કહીએ એને વિનંતી પણ કરે છે. થ્રુ એન આર્મફુલ ઓફ ધ લિટલ કોટ્સ થ્રુ ધ વિન્ડો, કેટલો મોહ છે દેખો કે ડૉક્ટર ના પાડે છે કે નહીં આવે ના એની કારમાં બધી વસ્તુ, તો પણ અમુક કોટ્સ એ બારીમાંથી બહાર ફેંકે છે. આઈ લુકડ ઇન ધ મિરર, બાજુના ગાડીના કાચમાં તે જુએ છે. બિફોર આઈ ટર્ન ધ કોર્નર ઓફ ધ ડ્રાઈવ એવરીબડી વોઝ ઇન ટીયર્સ, અને જતાં વળતી વખતે ઘરની બહાર નીકળતી વખતે એ જોઈ શકે છે કાચમાંથી કે બધાની આંખોમાં આંસુ છે. આઉટ ઓન ધ રોડ, જ્યારે રસ્તા પર છે. આઈ ગ્લાન્સ ડાઉન એટ ધ પેથેટિક લિટલ એનિમલ ગાસ્પિંગ ઓન ધ સીટ બાય માય સાઇડ, એ પોતાની બાજુની સીટ પર, ડ્રાઈવરની બાજુની સીટ પર એને બેસાડેલું. પેથેટિક એટલે દયનીય સ્થિતિ છે એની, સિમ્પેથેટિક કન્ડિશન છે. ગાસ્પિંગ એટલે ફરીથી એને શ્વાસ લેવામાં બહુ તકલીફ થાય છે. આપણે શ્વાસ આપણો ભારે થઈ જાય એટલે શ્વાસ ના લઈ શકતા હોઈએ ત્યારે આપણે કહીએ ગાસ્પિંગ ફોર એર. આઈ પેટેડ ધ હેડ, દયા આવે છે, એના માથા પર હાથ ફેરવે છે. એન્ડ ટ્રિકી મેડ અ બ્રેવ એફર્ટ ટુ વેગ હિઝ ટેલ, અને જે તે આપણે કોઈને પુચકારીએ, કોઈને આપણે હેત કરીએ, પ્રેમ કરીએ, કોઈક વહાલ કરીએ, કોઈક તો જાનવર જે છે એ પોતાની પૂંછ હલાવે છે, એ પોતાનું મોં બતાવવા માટે અથવા ખુશ થયો છે એ બતાવવા માટે. તો એ એફર્ટ એટલે કે એ વેગ હિઝ ટેલ એટલે પોતાની પૂંછ હલાવવા માટે એ એફર્ટ કરે છે. બ્રેવ એફર્ટ, એટલો એને કમજોર થઈ ગયો છે બીમારીથી કે પૂંછ હલાવવા માટે પણ એને એફર્ટ વર્ડ યુઝ કર્યો છે. બ્રેવ એફર્ટ. પુઅર ઓલ્ડ લેડ આઈ સેડ, એ કૂતરા માટે શબ્દો કે બિચારો, ગરીબ નહીં પણ અહીં બિચારો, ગરીબ કૂતરો એમ, બિચારો કૂતરો. યુ હેવન્ટ અ કિક ઇન યુ બટ આઈ થિંક આઈ નો અ ક્યોર ફોર યુ. અ કિક ઇન યુ, જરા પણ તારી પાસે તાકાત નથી, કિક મારવાની પણ તાકાત નથી, દોડવાની તાકાત નથી, પણ મને લાગે છે કે તારી બીમારીનો ઈલાજ, ધ ક્યોર ફોર યોર ડિઝીઝ, એ મારી પાસે છે. Now today we will end our session here. As you know, questions have been given first also. Here also some questions are there. Is the narrator as rich as Tricky's mistress? Second, how does he treat the dog? Third, why is he tempted to keep Tricky on a permanent guest? Next, why does Mrs. Pumphrey think the dog's recovery is a triumph of surgery? Previously also questions were given, now also questions are given. Hard words have been given. Listen to this lesson and understand it. Like that also, all these things are just like stories. So English lessons you can easily remember. It is very different from social science. Take care.